Sometimes a story appears that makes us stop everything we're doing. A story that reminds us how fragile life really is, and yet how strong the human heart can be. This week, that story came from someone millions of Americans wake up with every morning. Today's show co-host, Jenna Bush Hager. Known for her bright smile, her laughter, and her warm, down-to-earth spirit, Jenna has been a source of joy and comfort for countless viewers. But on what began as a perfectly ordinary morning, something felt different. When the cameras started rolling, her co-hosts and audience could immediately tell the usual sparkle in Jenna's eyes was missing. Her tone was softer, heavier, almost trembling. And then she took a deep breath and began to speak. Her words were slow at first, careful, measured. Then, through tears, Jenna revealed that her family was going through a heartbreaking time. She didn't share every detail, but what she did say was enough to leave the entire studio in stunned silence. This wasn't another one of her funny family stories or parenting confessions. It wasn't about books or morning humor. This was something deeply personal, something raw. Jenna's voice cracked as she explained that her family had been facing a painful challenge, one that had shaken her to the core. She said she had debated whether to talk about it publicly, but ultimately decided to share it, hoping others might feel less alone in their own struggles. And that's exactly what happened. Within minutes, her heartfelt confession spread across the country. Fans flooded social media with love, prayers, and messages of support. People who had never met her wrote that they were crying with her, feeling her pain as if it were their own. One handwritten letter stood out to Jenna, a note from an older woman who had recently lost her husband of 45 years. She wrote, "Jenna, thank you for reminding me that love never dies, even when our hearts are broken." That simple message, Jenna later said, moved her to tears all over again long after the broadcast had ended. For those who have followed Jenna's life, her strength in that moment was no surprise. As the daughter of former President George W. Bush and granddaughter of George H.W. Bush, Jenna has lived much of her life in the public eye. But she has always insisted that what truly defines her isn't politics, it's family, love, and faith. She spoke about remembering her grandmother, the late Barbara Bush, who once told her, "At the end of your life, you won't regret one more test or one more meeting. You'll regret not spending more time with the people you love." Those words hit harder than ever as Jenna faced her family's challenge. She said that her biggest worry wasn't for herself, but for her 3 children. She wanted to protect them, but also believed in honesty. So she told them the truth. Her youngest child listened quietly, then said something that stopped Jenna in her tracks. "Mommy, love makes everything better." Jenna said that in that moment, she felt her hope return. She realized that even in pain, there is light. And that light comes from love, connection, and family. When the segment ended, Jenna turned to the camera, her voice still trembling, and shared one final message. "Whatever you're going through, know that you are not alone. Our hearts may break, but we can help each other heal." The studio fell silent. Her co-hosts embraced her. And then one by one, viewers began to respond. People online started using hashtags like "We love Jenna" and "Jenna Strong." Thousands of fans sent comments, letters, and heartfelt posts. Churches mentioned her in prayers, families lit candles in solidarity. What began as one woman's confession turned into a national moment of compassion and unity. Even guests who had previously appeared on The Today Show came forward to thank Jenna for her courage. One woman, a cancer survivor, returned to the studio to say, "You gave me strength when I had none left." Through tears, Jenna thanked her and said, "If my story helps even one person feel less alone, it's worth it." That simple statement captured the very essence of who she is. Over the years, viewers have come to love Jenna not just for her humor or energy, but for her honesty. She laughs at herself, she admits her flaws, she doesn't hide behind the screen. She's real, and that's what makes people connect to her so deeply. So when Jenna hurts, the world hurts with her. And when she finds strength, her audience feels stronger too. Celebrities, colleagues, and close friends all sent words of encouragement, calling her the heart of the show and a light during dark times. Even in sadness, her warmth continued to inspire. Jenna's emotional moment was more than a headline. It was a reminder that behind every familiar face, every smile we see on TV, there's a human being who faces the same fears and heartbreaks we all do. It reminded people that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage. And it showed that even in times of uncertainty, compassion still brings us together. Through her tears, Jenna Bush Hager gave her viewers something they didn't expect that morning. Not entertainment, but truth. Not laughter, but understanding. And that truth resonated. Fans across the nation wrote that because of her honesty, they finally had the courage to talk about their own struggles with grief, illness, or loneliness. One viewer wrote, "Jenna, you made me believe that it's okay to break down because that's where healing begins." That's the kind of impact only someone with true heart can make. Today, Jenna continues to host the show with her signature warmth, but her message that day has lingered. It's become more than just a moment. It's a memory that reminds people to hold their loved ones closer and to never underestimate the power of kindness. She's living proof that even when life gets hard, hope never disappears. It just takes on a new form. So, as we reflect on Jenna's emotional revelation, maybe her story can inspire us too. Maybe it's a reminder to check in on someone you love, to forgive a little faster, to say the words you've been holding back. Because as Jenna's little one said, and as she has now shared with the entire world, love really does make everything better. And even in our darkest moments, that truth can light the way forward. Jenna Bush Hager's courage has once again shown us what true strength looks like. Not the kind that hides emotion, but the kind that dares to feel it. And in doing so, she reminded millions of people that even when hearts break, they can still beat together. If her story touched your heart, share it, because you never know who might need that same reminder today, that they are not alone, that hope still lives, and that love always finds a way.